common healing foods that you can get at the grocery store, because if we're talking about being prepared, which is the whole focus of the group that most of you came to this through, we want to be prepared, and we want to be prepared for whatever may come. We could have issues where you can't get to a doctor for your regular care, or you can't get to, you know, a hospital for an acute infection or whatever it is that's going on with you. So let's talk about what you can get just at the regular grocery store that you can feel safe and easy using, because, you know, there's some herbs out there people are terrified to use. You know, we're not terrified, you know, of the drugs that the doctor prescribes us, but we're terrified of an herb. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But at any rate, let's talk about this, because you can stock up at the grocery store with herbs and foods that are incredibly powerful, and they will help you stay well and get well if you need it in an emergency. And you can just have these on hand at all times. These are the things that I buy. So I just wrote down all of the ones that were at the top of my list. Number one is cayenne. I actually had a little difficulty deciding whether I wanted this to be cayenne or if I wanted it to be garlic, but you know, you can kind of, you know, get both at the same time. Now, cayenne is just, it is any hot chili pepper. It doesn't have to be specifically named cayenne, the variety cayenne. Cayenne pretty much refers to any of the capsicum species. Well, actually, that's the genus. It's any hot pepper, and peppers are graded in heat units. So for example, a sweet bell pepper would have a heat unit of like around 5, a jalapeno maybe like 120 to 150. Sometimes you get some really hot ones around 300. And then we start moving up higher and higher into hotter and hotter peppers, and their heat units start going into the thousands. And then you have, you know, African ghost peppers, which are like, you know, 300,000. So that's pretty hot. The hotter, the better. You need less of it if it's hotter. So cayenne can stop bleeding. If you get a cut, if you get a wound and you can't get it to stop, just sprinkle some cayenne powder on that. And it's like cauterizing the wound. It's amazing. It heals it up. It prevents scarring. It's incredible what it does for bleeding. You can bring somebody out of shock just like that with cayenne tincture, just a couple of drops under the tongue, and you can bring them out of shock really quick. It equalizes the blood pressure from the tips of your head to your fingertips to your toes. It'll equalize the blood pressure throughout the entire body. So it's very effective if someone is in the throes of a heart attack. So if someone is having a heart attack, give them cayenne right away. Give them a couple tablespoons of cayenne in a glass of water and make them drink it right away. Cayenne is very pain relieving. It'll help a migraine really quickly. Most people don't like, you know, drinking anything hot or taking cayenne tincture when they have a migraine because their head already hurts and now they don't want their tongue to burn. But I tell you what, it gets rid of a migraine really quick. Cayenne can heal ulcers. If you start taking cayenne every day, cayenne it'll stop the bleeding that's going on the inside of your stomach, and it helps the stomach rebuild the lining so it can start producing that protective mucus layer on the inside. It's the only thing I would use for an ulcer. Cayenne protects the heart. It can protect the heart from damage by making sure that the blood vessels to the heart remain open. It stimulates digestive cleansing, and if you've never had really spicy food and then had to hit the toilet later, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you have, you know what I mean. Cayenne will cleanse the bowels. Matter of fact, we used to have a bunch of horses, and they would get colic. And colic is when they have an intestinal impaction, and it can kill them. And it's usually 90% of horse deaths are from colic. And if we got a horse with colic, we just put, you know, some cayenne in, we'd mix it with olive oil and put it in a syringe, and we'd squirt it in the back of that horse's mouth, and 30 minutes later, his bowels are moving. And usually it's spraying. It's very powerful at cleansing the bowel. So if you want to do some of that detoxification for yourself, cayenne will help. Cayenne will help move your bowel. And it's also really good as just a general pain reliever. So, you know, having a little bit of cayenne every now and then is going to be wonderful. Okay. The next thing I would have on hand is garlic. Well, okay, let me go back to cayenne really quick. If you're going to stock up on cayenne, get dried whole chili peppers and grind them up to a powder. You can dehydrate your own, grind them to a powder. It's going to be by far, better than anything that's been stored in a, a dried or ground form for a really long time. Because sometimes you buy the powder at the store, you have no idea how long it's been sitting there. Store it in a cool, dry place. Make sure it doesn't get any light. Light oxidizes and can destroy some of the healing properties of any of your herbs or foods. So make sure that you're doing that. Now, you can also make cayenne tincture, and all you have to do is you can take fresh chili peppers, grab a mason jar, stuff it full of fresh chili peppers, chop them up really good, stuff it full, pour some pure grain alcohol. I use vodka. Pour some pure grain alcohol over the top and just put a lid on it, put it in a sunny place for about 2 weeks. After that, it's good, and you can leave it like that indefinitely. Or you can strain it off and then just put it in another bottle and just use a few drops at a time. That is going to be way better than a lot of things you're going to find at the store. And I will tell you throughout this whole process, make your own, because I can't tell you how many times I've gone to the store and I have tried herbal tinctures that say, it's this herb or that herb. And I've had that herb fresh, and I've had my own tincture of that herb, and I don't even get the tingling at the back of my throat, or I don't, my salivary glands don't even activate. There's nothing in it, or it's so diluted, it's not even going to do anything for you. So make your own. Okay, garlic. Garlic is it's called Russian penicillin because Russia uses it so much more than penicillin. Garlic is a broad spectrum antibiotic. It is very selective. It will not work the same way penicillin or amoxicillin or erythromycin. It will not work the same way. Those are indiscriminate antibiotics. They kill everything. They kill off all the good bacteria that your body needs in order to make the vitamins and minerals that you need that your cells need. Garlic does not do that. Garlic kills harmful bacteria. I don't know how it's selective. It just is. It is also the antiviral. There is no drug on the planet that's antiviral, but garlic is. So if you find you're dealing with a viral infection, give yourself some garlic. It is also anti-parasitic. It will not only kill parasites, it will help expel parasites from your body. And I don't care who you are, if you have eaten even 1 square inch of USDA choice beef, there's over 1,000 parasite larvae in them. If that moved through your digestive tract in 8 hours, you're probably okay because they didn't have a chance to hatch. But if you're like most people and you have a sluggish digestive system and it took longer than 8 hours to get that out of your body, I guarantee you have parasites whether you like it or not. Garlic will kill them, and garlic will get them out of your system. And you will be amazed at the difference in your energy level when you kill all the parasites in your body. You will be really amazed. Garlic is also antifungal. Anyone who's dealing with cancer typically has an overgrowth of fungus in the body. Garlic is antifungal. Garlic is also a powerful antioxidant. Garlic is amazing for breaking up cholesterol. If you have any kind of coronary or circulatory issues, arteriosclerosis, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, anything going on with your heart, your arteries, or your circulation, you should be eating garlic. Garlic breaks up cholesterol. It removes plaque or from the walls of the arteries. It helps tone the arteries themselves, so they have more elasticity. So you're not going to, blow one and get an aneurysm. It's just fantastic. It's one of the best cardiac tonics there is. Garlic boosts the immune system like nobody's business. Garlic, if you're sick or you think you're catching anything, or if you think you're going to, start taking some garlic and you won't have a problem. It strangely is also a heavy metal detoxifier. It can help remove heavy metals from the body. It inhibits blood platelet aggregation, and that's when you see all those live blood analysis and all of the red blood cells are all sticking together in these big lines and these big clumps, and they're not flowing freely. Well, garlic helps prevent that. And garlic has a myriad of sulfuric compounds, and it is, Dr. Christopher referred to it as an herbal surgeon. It will cut cancer out of the body like nobody's business. And one of the ways it does this is because when cancer starts forming tumors, the tumors actually allow cancer to sort of hide from the immune system. And garlic busts through that. And not only does it do that, but it also helps kill viruses, which we're now finding have a huge impact on cancer. And it is especially effective at helping anyone who has cancer that was chemically induced. You know, if you have, like, if you live in the Southwest and you know what downwinders is, you know, anything, any cancer that you got that was as a result of, you know, chemical poisoning of your body, garlic is going to be your best friend. Okay, so garlic I would get, you can get it fresh, you can store it fresh, you know, in the whole bulb form. It lasts for a long time. You can also, if you happen to have a freeze dryer, freeze dry it. If you can't dehydrate it, but always make sure when you're dehydrating foods, especially for their medicinal properties, keep the temperature below 120 because you don't want to cook it. So dehydrate it low. And by the way, don't dehydrate it in your house. Just a little tip. Your house will really smell. But garlic is fantastic. So get yourself plenty of garlic and start eating it.